Welcome back to Training Tuesday. Today, while we work out, I'm going to talk about the major advantages of keeping things specific, and I'm going to try to explain actually the hierarchical structure of value in a training sense. Don't worry, it will all make sense. And the importance of doing what we call in Sweden lagom, which is not too little and not too much. In Training Tuesday, I'm going to be working out. I'm going to do 7 sets, and you are welcome to join me if you want. If you do, you sort of go when I go, and then, we'll just chat in the rest time. You can do any sort of training that you want: squats, push ups, sprints, jumping jacks, doesn't really matter. I'm going to do this today. I feel like training some arms, and let's get right to it. So, the first set is always sort of a warm up. Not really much need for a major warm up with this, but here we go. Set number 1. Bending this is extremely heavy, by the way. It takes something like 1,500 pounds of pressure each time. I'm kidding, of course, but it's set pretty tough, and we're just gonna increase it more and more. There we go, warm-up set done. Now we're just gonna wait until the song, the next song comes on, which is something like 2 or 3 minutes. Something that I learned in sort of when training others and practicing myself is that your body only has so much ability to adapt. Which means that even though after a sort of long bench press session I could do more, after bench press I could do triceps and stuff like that. But what I honestly came to the conclusion of is that it would sort of overwrite the reprogramming of the nervous system from the bench press training. And it makes sense in a larger sort of way of thinking about it as well. I do believe that if you train hockey 4 times a week, adding 3 sessions of soccer training will make you a worse hockey player than only doing 4 sessions of hockey each week. And what this means is that whatever it is that you prioritize, you have to do that a lot and not disrupt it with other things. Which is a very fascinating idea, because if you apply this to other things, that means that whatever it is that you want to get good at, it's almost time. Here we go. Set number 2. This is horrible lighting, by the way. I don't look jacked at all. Need to set up some sort of neon lighting in the roof. Whatever it is that you're trying to get good at, you need to not overwrite that with various other things. Which for me, of course, is a huge problem, since not only do I study at the university to become a clinical psychologist, I also study 500 different things on the side. But I do also believe in a sort of general learning ability that you can improve. It's just that the specific things are affected by this idea. Because of course, this person that adds the 3 soccer sessions on top of his 4 hockey sessions will be in better shape, have even better cardiovascular ability and other things, but his specific hockey skills will be negatively affected. In training, like we're talking about today, here's the thing though. It doesn't stack that well if you already sort of max out your hypertrophy or strength quota, which is not super duper high. So, let's say when talking about bench press, if you would do 2 sessions of bench press each week and then 2 sessions of dumbbell press or push-ups, then yes, you would probably be in better shape and generally more functionally strong, but your bench press would certainly be worse than doing 3 sessions of bench press, which is less than the 4 total sessions. Short songs in this. Here we go. Let's try and really push it, these middle sets. So set number 3. I say that and I feel my hands just absolutely burning immediately. Jesus. So when studying things, of course, you will be more generally knowledgeable if you study all sorts of different things on a sort of shallow. I'm just gonna change the song. This was awful. It's more functional to know a lot about a lot of different things. But if you dedicate yourself truly to math, any sort of other things will not only be a distraction but a disruption. And this ties into the sort of whole motivational sacrifice, whatever. But it also gives you a certain amount of space. When learning, when studying and trying to memorize stuff, you have something called space repetition. And that uses the time that you don't practice and train in order to make it set deeper. This is an idea that I have thought a lot about in regards to training as well, and it's something that powerlifters used to do for deadlifts while they trained squat very, very frequently. And I find that to be a very, very interesting sort of balance to try and figure out. In arm wrestling, I found that having some space between sessions meant that you did it more enthusiastically. Now some people, that talks about squatting every day, means they think that the more practice, the better. But even they understand, of course, that there's a limit. Um, Even if you squat every day, you can't squat all day, every day, even though that is much more total volume. And Jesus Christ, this playlist is just absolutely awful, but we're just gonna roll with it. We're going 2011 dubstep, I guess. And it isn't nice to think that, in training sort of context, if you like an exercise a lot, it is absolutely fine to just do that exercise more, because you will get a lot better in that exercise. There was times, years where I would do nothing but bench press, and I really think that served me to a great extent, because you sort of put all of your energy in one place. There is a quote by someone, maybe it was me, I don't remember. If you are able and willing to do a lot of side work after your primary lifts, you didn't do them nearly enough. And I found that once, because I tried all sorts of different methods. And when I went from removing the side work, I would find that the next workout and the upcoming workouts, I would get more energy. It was sort of, and I swear this is true, this is just a theory that I have, but the more you know that you're gonna have to do a lot, the more you will conserve yourself. And I find this, here we go. Fourth set number 4, here we go. This is torching my forearms. I'm never doing it in this spot again. I need the natural sunlight so you look bigger. I had this problem with when I used to run group training sessions. When I used to run group training sessions, the athletes that had a background in sort of long distance endurance work, it was actually quite difficult to get them to go all out, because they had learned, of course, that going all out means that you won't be able to go for very long. But you have to be able to switch on the idea that, well, if you're just gonna run 100 meters or 90 yards or whatever and do nothing else, then of course that little moment you should be able to completely exert yourself. Now, if that dash is the first of 50 dashes just like it, then of course you will not probably even be able to fully exert yourself, because you know you have to conserve your energy. And in my favorite video on this channel, I talked about how you need to make everything orange. You need to put yourself in an exerting position and actually push your limits. Hold on. because that is the only way to keep sort of breaking plateaus and how to keep breaking plateaus and continue to improve and evolve. Because if not, if you just do a set sort of level, then once you have become accustomed to that level, your training will not actually do anything. It will only maintain what you already have. So whatever it is that you're doing, I think I'm trying to make this sort of a general rule. Do it as if though you will not be able to or not get the chance to do it ever again. If this is the last time that you get to try and improve this thing, or that you'll never have to do it again, not only will you be able to sort of relax and push yourself, and this is the optimal combination for flow: relaxing and pushing yourself. Here we go, set number 5, I think. Even now, I can feel myself, not completely exerting yourself. But imagine if in each of these sets, this was the last set that you will ever do, and then for the rest of your life, your body will adapt to that set. You would hopefully be able to push yourself just an absolutely insane amount, because in whatever endeavor it is that you do, there are 3 obstacles: pain, exhaustion, and fear. When working out, of course, it is mostly about pain and exhaustion, but that is things of the mind. Pain, of course, via the nervous system, is in your brain, and there's a lot of science on how we perceive it differently. And exhaustion as well, in the context of, if you feel an extremely high motivation for whatever reason, then those things are not a priority at all. Simply completing the task is the main priority. And the point of this long rant is that the more you do a specific thing, you will become so much better at it, and that will in itself give you internal motivation because you see further progress. Okay, set number 6. I'm gonna do it overhead this time. After this, I'm gonna go paint. I hope I can lift the brush properly. We'll see. So doing a bunch of additional work is not good in many, many different ways. It will deplete the energy that you are supposed to save for the main thing. It will disrupt the learning and the quality of the main thing. And it will make you hold back more throughout the entire process. So focus on the main thing and do that as well as possible. And set the frame that it really, really matters. Because it does, obviously. Why else would you be doing it if it doesn't matter? So for the last set, we're gonna try and really push it. As if this was the last set of your life, and the quality of it will determine your physique, your strength, and your capability for the rest of your life. This one set, even though you're tired, that's good. That means it cuts deeper. Okay, here we go. Last set of our lives. I don't know if it was longer, but it was certainly on a higher scale of the exhaustion and the pain. But it's good. Need thick forearms. Have a fantastic day, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow.